Greetings. This week's topic is growth mindsets and everyday mindset examples. And I actually like to think that this is something that I do intrinsically. So there was 4 things posed to us this week, and I'm going to try to address each one in a little video and then do the Q&A portion in the comments. So I had a lot of fun doing the video last week, so I just decided to jump on board and try to do it again for this week. So how would I handle a new project or task at home or school? Well, what I've done previously is I look at the overall task that I want to accomplish and I break it down into different components. If it means putting a flowchart or whatnot, I do that. And then I look for each individual component and if it needs to be sub-broken down and so forth and so on, and I grow from the bottom up. And a great example of this is on the side, I'm actually trying to research my family tree because my mom passed about 2 years ago, and my aunt passed a few years prior to that, and my uncle passed numerous years prior to that. Actually, he's the reason I've gotten into healthcare. But they were the caretakers of the family history, and their generation is pretty much all gone. And something I want to pass on to my daughter is that history. So what I've done is I've started on Ancestry, and actually the easiest way to break it down is I start with my wife and I and work my way up one side of my family tree, get as much information as I can at the top, as far back as I can go, and then try to break it back down previously, but also going across. And there's a lot of, let's say, surprises when I've done this. And it's caused me to look at stuff and go back and redo multiple times. I think I'm on the 7th version of this family tree, trying to get it all out. And luckily I've found some of my mom's distant cousins that are actually helping me with this, and I'm not afraid to ask them for help and advisement since they are closer to that upper level of the family tree, but they're sort of my grandfather's grandnephews, so to speak. So distant is very much it, and they're people I wouldn't have been able to contact if I didn't tackle this project from a top-down mentality. So the second question, how do I embrace working in groups, or when you prefer to work independently? Well, actually I'm good at both. I love the group dynamic because there's so much to learn. There's so much to learn from somebody else. I mean, to assume that you know everything is just asking for failure. So the trick with working in a group, even if you're an independent learner or independent worker, is they know more than you about a specific topic. They know more than you about something that you don't know about, and you might not know that you don't know about it yet because you've never experienced it yet. So there is very little to be gained from assuming that you know everything. Now, when you prefer to work independently, you need to know that you don't know everything, and sometimes that means looking online for the resources to find the information that you don't know yet. Being in a group means that you have those resources closer to hand, and it's an amazing, amazing dynamic, and I really appreciate it. The third question, how would you react to your instructor's suggestion to incorporate a data component into assignment for your non-math related course? Well, I don't know if any of you have done those True Colors assessments. I have. And I know 2 things. One is that I am very much a green mindset that leans towards blue, and that my yellow is a little bit further down and my orange is even further down from there. And what that means is I'm a data person. I love data. I love numbers. I thrive on numbers. I like to know what's happening and why it's happening, and that's the green component. The blue component means that I'm very much an emotional guy. reach out to people. I try to mentor them. I try to teach them. I try to guide them. I feel that part of the group is coming together and working as a cohesive whole. The yellow, which is a far cry from my blue side, is that I follow the rules if I need to, but I prefer to make up the rules as I go. So there are some things that I do well. That's numbers and that's people. There's some things I don't do well is going verbatim by rules. I feel that they're a good guide, but they should not be the be-all and end-all that define you. The orange aspect is very much that, how to put it mildly, the loners, and that's not me. I can do things independently. I prefer being in a group because there's always more to learn. So the final question that we have is, what do you do when you don't understand something that everyone around you seems to have caught on to? Well, that's probably the simplest thing. I ask for help. I go to my peers, I go to my managers, my supervisors, I go to mentors that I've made over the years, and I might not have one currently in a professional setting, but I have many that I go to, and I'm very proud to say that some of the mentors that I do go to these days are people that I've taught and that have learned from me, and I've actually learned more from them than they realize. And the growth mindset is knowing that we don't know everything. It's knowing that there's more to learn. It's knowing that as great as we are, as amazing as we are, there's more to learn, more to see, more to do. That the time we have on this earth is meant for growth. It's not meant for stagnation. And there's multiple references to this throughout literature, throughout movies, through comics, that when we stop learning and we stop growing, that's when we die. Be it dying a physical death or dying by stagnation and lack of advancement. There's what's called the DILBERT Principle, where we promote people up to their level of competency. And Scott Adams even went on and said that there's the DILBERT Principle, saying that we promote the incompetence out of the workforce. And tongue-in-cheek, promoting up to a level of competency is effectively doing the same thing, that you don't bring somebody up above where they're not going to be able to do well. And the trick with that is, if we want to keep on growing and advancing as an individual, as a people, as a society, as a culture, as humanity, we need to grow. We can't assume that we know everything. And this is probably a lot more than I would have written in a discussion post, and I'll summarize everything there. But I really think that the video, there's so much more that we can impart. Communication is not just words on a page. It's not just what is said. It's how it's said. It's how it's being said. It's our inflection, our diction. It's so much more. And something like this, a topic this close to me, definitely is one that I want to reach as many people as I can. And that's, unfortunately, that's through video. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to all the commentaries and inquiries that you all will probably make on my feed. Thank you. Bye.